Hello everyone, welcome back. We're going to be doing some side missions. I've got a totally stealthed kit here, minus the Jeep. And quiet, she's not exactly stealth. So the first one is you have to eliminate a heavy infantry. Quiet's pretty good at doing this. As we found out in the last episode, she likes to kill people. And there's the target.
Enemy analysis. That's the target. Has been updated. Fire.
Ooh.
Shot! Sniper!
Analysis complete.
So she can't kill them, huh? Well, she's proving to be a good distraction, though. Right now I'm trying out a person called Amber Fox. She had a cool tattoo on her face. Although you can't really see her right now because she has a mask on.
Enemy presence detected. The map has been updated. Side ops list
Gotcha.
updated.
A very nice
Clouds,
distraction.
You have arrived at your destination.
Alright, the next one's going to be down the road a bit. Extract the Wandering Mother base soldier. Alright. Not a fun one. Let's send Quiet on ahead to... Well, actually, there's no base there. In case we need support in this town, I guess we will post her up right there. Let's see what kind of cassette tapes we can listen to. Whoops, that's not cassette tapes at all. It's kind of funny, if you just go offline, I've been meaning to do this. If you go offline, you don't even get this loading screen. Because I guess for whatever reason, when you go into your menu, I guess it's pinging off of a server or something. I don't know.
Please select
That's
a
so
mission.
bad. Cassette tapes.
Where is she? You mean Quiet? In her cell, of course.
Why did you send her out with the boss on that mission?
She proved herself well enough, didn't she? The boss sure knows talent when he sees it.
There are wolves in that area. They've been known to go after people, so watch yourself.
We do over one.
What's that supposed to mean?
Remember what happened when she first got here? She shot down the aircraft Cypher sent after us. Not only that, she hit the cockpit. Who else could have done that? We're talking about a fighter jet traveling at Mach speed.
What's your point?
She hadn't been...
Well,
The boss's chopper would be at the bottom of the ocean right now. Or...
I actually didn't have to go on this road at all.
back to Mother Base. So let's say she does have some elaborate scheme in the works.
Oh well.
You want to catch her in the act, all we can do is sit back and wait. On the other hand, if she swears allegiance to the boss like our other Fulton recruits, he couldn't ask for a better partner.
She's got you fooled.
I have eyes on her. If she tries anything, she'll regret it. We lose nothing either way.
Yeah, I would believe that he has eyes on her. Oh, that's going to be a long one. That's too long.
Hard to believe
For how
how
much
many of those
further we have to
bipedal
go.
weapons have popped up around Africa. When did that start? No more than 6 months ago. Didn't really hit me until I came here.
They're not supposed to be in use yet.
Emmerich says they were still doing the last round of fine-tuning. The doctor has no idea. His research has already hit the black market. Both sides of the Iron Curtain will have it by now. Even so, they're spreading much too fast. Sure, the Walker gears can operate in any terrain. Their mobility's just as good in the jungle as it is in the desert. That would come in handy in a place like Africa. They are modules that can one day be used as nuclear weapon systems. And with that in mind, the numbers are way too large. There must be another reason they're so widespread. Like what? It's all about needs. To small-time outfits like most of these private forces, this product is a dream come true. Hell, it goes beyond PFs. This is the ultimate weapon, the forbidden fruit, for anyone with an enemy to fight and people to defend. The nuclear deterrent. Exactly. Sounds familiar, huh? PFs are all operating off your playbook. You created these times. But could this be the new weapon in Africa that Emmerich talked about? If it is, why is Cypher letting everyone and his brother get their hands on one? What comes next? Selling nuclear weapons in the open? Making them public property? Why don't they give that a try? Then the next war really will be fought with sticks. Right. The man we're dealing with isn't foolish enough to make a suicide pact with the world. So, what is Cypher really up to?
That's the target. I remember him. He was off base during the attack 9 years ago. Bring him home, boss.
Alright, got him. And then we'll do this one.
Marker placed.
Mine clearing.
Side-op completed.
He's coming too. Roger that.
Tokshen arrived at Mother Base.
Sounds potentially boring, so let's put on another cassette tape. We'll do the Huey one now.
It wasn't just Cypher. Back in the Caribbean, every eye in the world was turned on us. A private army, just a bunch of guys with guns, in possession of a nuke? Why wouldn't they be uncomfortable?
And that's why you made sure the inspection happened.
Well, I thought our best move was to prove to the UN through the IAEA that we had no nuke. Of course, I was against us having it in the first place, but that was Snake's decision.
The boss wasn't responsible.
Well, don't get me wrong, I still believed in Snake. I thought I was making the best decision for all of us, that's all. I figured we should get a third party to exonerate us before proof of the nuke did get out. And who better to do that than an organization with international authority?
So the truth is, you took it upon yourself to agree to an inspection arranged by the UN. Only the inspection was a ruse, and Cypher Strike Force XOF showed up instead.
I had no idea that would happen.
Enough bullshit.
Oh, sure, like I could have known. You know, I was just trying to prove our innocence to the world. What's wrong with that?
We're not interested in the excuses you thought up. The truth is objective.
Just see it from my point of view.
You led XOF to the control tower. They seized it, giving them complete control over the base. Moments later, they detonated C4 on the strut legs. Anyone who'd managed to survive was hunted down by the assault force and their choppers.
You can't believe I did that on purpose.
That was the end of Mother Base. But it wasn't the end for you.
How can you... Look, think about it. I lost something too. I built Zeke and it got buried underwater. I am a victim.
That raises the big questions. Why were you the only one spared? You got away without a scratch. Why did Strangelove leave the base on the eve of the inspection?
Ah,
Strangelove.
Strangelove. Yeah.
Strangelove?
And how did you manage to build
That's,
something that
Otacon's
surpasses
mom,
Zeke
right?
in every way?
I think so.
Because you did everything they told you. You're the only one who didn't lose a thing. That is the truth.
I was taken away against my will. Skullface forced me to do his research these past 9 years.
Where the hell's the last
He used
line?
me. I lost 9 years.
9 years. We all lost 9 years. It wasn't just you.
I suppose blaming me makes you feel better, does it? But who's gonna give me back all the time I lost?
You're not getting anything back.
You're not a victim here, Emmerich. You're the perpetrator.
I didn't know anything.
Nobody can back that up.
Yeah, all the evidence. It's at the bottom of the ocean.
Side ops list updated.
You know the hardest man to
Well,
think? The type who's fooling himself. That takes time. It's easier to live a convenient lie than a painful truth. Is that the piece you've chosen, Doc?
I'm not lying.
extract a legendary gunsmith.
Just let me check one or two things.
Ah, man, that's so far
You were in
away.
the control tower with him. Lucky you. That's how you got out unscathed. And you escaped on one of their choppers. Only you, right before the base went under.
They had me blindfolded the whole time. I've never been so scared.
I'm not really
whole flight, I
equipped
thought
to
they'd kill
go
me.
after the tank one.
But thinking of you kept me going. My comrades, all the way.
And?
There was a plane journey, then we traveled by road. When they finally
God,
took
that's
off
so
the
far away.
blindfold, I was in kind of a warehouse, on the floor. Afghanistan, it was that research lab. I couldn't believe they'd taken me halfway around the world. And soon enough, he came.
Skullface.
He's the one who's really behind that mother base attack. He forced me into that research.
What
Well,
kind of
I guess we get
research?
to hear all the Huey
He
tapes.
told me to build a
Just know
bipedal
that we're just going to
walking
be
tank for
listening
the
to these
Soviet
tapes all the way there. I'm not going to cut this
like
part out.
Peace Walker.
So if that doesn't sound interesting, then
M-class nuclear weapon. That's how the Sahelanthropus project got started.
then feel free to skip ahead.
Those AI weapons I'd made in Costa Rica were like toys by comparison. A whole world apart from reptilian four-legged
poor
crawlers
Jeep.
and that ridiculous hunched-over bipedal waddling. My design evolved to the dawn of mankind. Sahelanthropus, the first steps towards humanity. An upright bipedal weapon system. Originally, Sahelanthropus was going to be a manned weapons platform. I designed a cockpit in its head, and I planned to fill it with water as a buffering agent.
Like how Paz modified Zeke for human control.
Don't compare me to some amateur. I designed it for human control from the beginning. The problem was miniaturizing.
Is Quiet going after the people who
control
shot me?
AI. You
I think she
remember the
is.
reptile pod?
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
Attaching it externally makes it vulnerable.
That's kind of funny.
So this time I wanted it beneath the armor.
My
Meaning I
Jeep
had
was
to make
almost
the
destroyed, so
AI
I decided to
small.
make the change.
I got it down to less than a tenth the size without any loss in computation speed. But it was still too big for the cockpit. There wasn't enough room for the pilot. If I made the head bigger, its body would have to be bigger to support it. Too big to be practical. In the end, human piloting was taken off the table. I tested a remote control system too, but there was the time lag and I wasn't satisfied with its precision either. Plus, it would be useless if the enemy jammed it. So next, I went back to trying an AI-only system. To do that, I had the AI pods recovered from Nicaragua. This was a hybrid AI, a combination of Peace Walker's reptile and mammal pods. The only AIs that had ever successfully operated an unmanned nuclear weapons system.
Really? You'd need some help to get that working. Expert help. Did you work with someone?
I worked alone.
You did that yourself?
That's the thing. The AI didn't pan out in the end either. But I did finally get Sahelanthropus walking by folding over its upper body to lower its center of gravity. The first upright bipedal locomotive weapon system in the history of mankind. I guess technically it falls into the anthropoid ape category.
I don't see the benefit of having it stand taller.
On terrain with significant differences in elevation like Afghanistan, you need a body that's vertically adaptable. That also lets it attack from long range while using mountain ridges for cover. So, making it walk upright was the most important factor in giving it superior height capability. As the name suggests, that was the whole point of Sahelanthropus. But I was being pushed for results. Having the AI mounted externally would have been the fastest way to get it working. I just needed more data so it could maintain its balance.
I'm going the wrong way.
Skullface refused to wait.
Damn
He
it.
dismissed the idea of AI control and took Sahelanthropus away from me before I could finish it.
But it was walking when it came after you.
That's just it. I don't understand how Skullface got it to move upright, without a pilot or an AI. And walking at that speed, too. It's beyond anything I could have imagined. This is like the Wright brothers making it to the moon. I'm just as clueless as you are.
So this Sahelanthropus, where is it now?
I have no idea. All my experiments took place at that cave. I've never seen it anywhere else. Besides, it's still just an incomplete prototype at this point, and nothing but a paper tiger. Even if it can walk, it's far from being a viable weapons platform. It wouldn't be useful in actual battle.
Emmerich will remain here at Mother Base for now, but not as a member of Diamond Dogs. I still don't trust him. That work for you?
Fine by me. He can't be allowed any contact with staff either.
Yeah. A lot of the guys would love some payback for 9 years ago. We still need him alive. But we have to restrict his movements. He can only go where we tell him. And of course, the interrogations will continue. He worked for that skull bastard for nearly a decade. He still has more to tell us.
How long are we gonna press him?
If our investigation shows he really had nothing to do with the attack, we'll reconsider his place here. But I don't expect that to happen. Remember that water tank-shaped object in Emmerich's lab in the Soviet base camp?
I do.
The thing that started talking to you like a possessed answering machine. That was a pod built for housing the AI. Unmanned weapons. You remember, back in '74 in Costa Rica. It was in those machines you fought there. They were designated Pupa, Chrysalis, Cocoon, and Basilisk.
Yeah, that's all
Each of
Peace
them
Walker
was fitted
stuff.
with an AI unit called a reptile pod. Emmerich created it. It mainly handled the machine's posture control and autonomous behavior. But the Basilisk, aka Peace Walker, also featured a second AI pod. That one was called the Mammal Pod, and it was created by Dr. Strangelove. She tried to recreate the boss's personality through the Mammal Pod.
Yep, this
But
is
you
all
pulled
Peace
out
Walker.
its memory boards. That's when it transferred its own functions to its reptile pod. Just like a human brain could. Damage by using the remaining healthy parts. The result was a unique entity. A hybrid of the reptile and the mammal. It sank to the bottom of Lake Nicaragua with Peace Walker. But apparently they salvaged it and transported it to that lab. Don't let it deceive you, Snake. It may sound like the boss, but it has neither a personality nor a will. Like Emmerich says, it's just a machine.
Caution. Sandstorm approaching.
Oh no, not a sandstorm.
You called that thing Sahelanthropus. Where does the name come from?
Well, several years ago, an excavation team discovered a hominid skull in the Sahel region.
Central Africa, the Southern Sahara.
Cypher gave the specimen the name Sahelanthropus, Man of Sahel. And then they covered the whole thing up.
Why?
They probably wanted to monopolize information about human evolution to have a head start in their genetic research. At least,
No,
until they had an
doesn't-
idea of what they'd found.
It
No
was
sandstorm.
that big of a discovery, huh?
Sahelanthropus was a gracile hominid, estimated to have lived about 7 million years ago. What's significant about it is how its skull's foramen magnum faces down. In other words, its spinal column supported its head from underneath.
It stood upright.
Right. Which would mean Sahelanthropus walked upright 3 million years before Australopithecus, making it the world's oldest human species.
Walking upright. I get it. Hence the name Sahelanthropus for your machine.
Walking upright was the decisive difference between our ancestors and other anthropoids. Our brains could get heavier once they were supported by the spinal column. That led to the use of tools and the development of complex communication through language. Only man is capable of this. My creation will be the progenitor of all bipedal weapon platforms.
And you did this for Cypher.
No, not at all. Sahelanthropus is the best proof that I never betrayed you guys.
What do you mean?
The reconstructed Sahelanthropus skull looked exactly like the skull we used as our logo 9 years ago in the Caribbean.
An army without a nation. Outside the world order.
The design was based
That's
on
the target.
Oh, that's the
continent
sniper?
that existed 250 million years ago, right?
Yeah. When the world was a single landmass. That concept's at the source of our strength.
I felt the same way about Sahelanthropus. Sure, I was forced to build it under their orders, but I always wanted to put its technology back in our hands someday. That's the reason I incorporated the old insignia into Sahelanthropus's name. Don't you see? That's how much I was thinking about you guys.
Oh, I see, all right. I see someone desperate to cover it.
Woo!
You can say whatever you want after the fact. But that skull also symbolizes somebody else. Skullface.
Snake, you finally came. Just don't record this, okay?
I'm not recording anything. What's this about?
What I'm about to
He's coming too. Roger that.
is between you and me. It's about the weapon to surpass Metal Gear.
Complete.
You know a researcher by the name of Clark? He works in the biotech industry. Real advanced stuff. His area is bioengineering, but lately he's also gotten into genetic research.
Never heard of him.
Well then, what do you know?
This helmet.
To extract him.
I think I've heard enough.
Hold on, this is important. Cloning lets you create a genetic copy of an organism. You take the nucleus of one of its cells, and you swap it with the nucleus of an unfertilized egg from another member of the same species.
Oh, they're going to be talking about
They started out working with plants, but since then they've had success with other organisms, including mammals. It's a hot area for a lot of places right now. Corporations, universities, research groups.
There we go.
There's no shortage of scientists out to get famous and patent their work,
There we go.
with morality taking a back seat.
Isn't that a little outside your field?
It's got nothing to do with my research. But I thought it might be of interest to you. Cloning, and Dr. Clark, I mean.
Go on.
Now, this is really highly classified stuff.
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
A biotech company has successfully cloned a human being. What's more, it happened over 10 years ago. And the researcher behind it was Dr. Clark. You've really never heard of him?
I don't meet many doctors.
This Dr. Clark is a complete ghost, even to others in his field. His age, where he comes from, that might not be his real name. And I can't even say for sure he's a he. Clark's employer, ATGC, its company motto is embracing your hopes, preserving talent.
What does this have to do with me?
Cypher. Dr. Clark works for ATGC, and they have connections to DARPA. Cypher couldn't function without the
DARPA?
communications network DARPA's built. Meaning, Cypher has to be a part of the Pentagon. Or at least, the two are joined at the hip. DARPA is a driving force behind human cloning.
DARPA
It's a
chief.
pretty high priority project for them. And this Dr. Clark, some say he's a pivotal player in Cypher. But that's not all. Every cell nucleus in an organism contains the genetic information for that organism. Think of it as a blueprint for life.
Yeah.
Clark appears to be working on how to decode this information and rearrange it at will. If you could do that, it would mean being able to custom design human beings for specific purposes. Can you believe that? Suppose...
Oh, wait a minute.
that
Is this
is
going
all
to that
fact.
big base?
A man of your talents, if your genetic information died with you, that would be a terrible loss for mankind.
Oh,
But what if mankind
Puppies.
could preserve you for future generations
puppies!
by cloning you?
All right, enough. I get the idea.
Look, I know it's inductive reasoning, but this weapon to surpass Metal Gear they're developing in Africa, I believe it's something that uses this new technology. Speaking as a fellow scientist, it chills me to the bone.
That's rich coming from you.
Oh man, this is the big base.
Then
Wait.
I wonder if they include an impulse that drives us to tweak the design.
Shit.
Can you imagine
This place sucks.
Genes encoded with information
And I need to
that
extract a
wants its
gunsmith.
children to decode it.
Which means quiet may not be
Is
a...
life itself putting the direction of our next evolution in the hands of scientists? I guess it would take some real arrogance to believe that. And yet, it could be what Cypher's after.
I think you're barking up the wrong tree. But that was an interesting story. It'd make a good movie.
You have to believe me.
Where'd you hear all this anyway?
Where? I just overheard it in bits and pieces while I was forced to do that research for them.
Right.
Wait a minute. Look, I want to help you. I want to be of service here. I'm risking my life with this.
Is that so? Maybe it's time we brought someone else into the conversation.
No, not him. Not Ocelot. You can't do this.
I hate this base. And if I used... Wait a minute. Did Quiet find the person I needed? Wow, she did. I didn't know she could do that. Oh, wait. No, that's just a prisoner. Never mind. So far, she has not found the person. Maybe he's in a building. Alright, let's sneak in at night.
Sun will set shortly.
Are they still on alert? So yeah, she scouted everything out here. Oh, wait. No, she didn't.
Analysis complete.
Let's turn off the power.
Analysis complete.
Man, this is such a large area to have to find this guy.
КП, это Дмитрий-4. Немедленно проверю. Конец связи.
But we'll find him. We will find him.
The map has been updated.
КП, это Дмитрий-4. Прибыли на место. Начинаем осмотр. Прием. КП, понял. Подозрительные. Конец связи.
Sounds like Quiet's in position. I think I'm gonna ask for a supply drop.
Please select a drop point. Supplies requested.
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
Does she have like asthma?
Supply drop complete.
Well, I hit him. Aha! Aha!
He's coming too. Roger that.
She has some weird breathing. I'm not even here. I guess I am here. I lied to you. What can I say? I'm a liar.
He's coming too. Roger that.
Alright, so I'm assuming he's in a building. I should probably get that prisoner out of here too. Or maybe that is the gunsmith. I mean, that is flashing. I guess I assumed he was a bad guy. Oh, he or she. How did that person not hear that? What up, buddy? You thought you were so funny. You're like, look at me, I'm a sniper. Ah, how cool am I? Wow, she is right there. How cool do you feel now, Mr. Sniper? Oh, speaking of sniping, this is a gun range.
Weather will clear shortly.
I got him quiet. I can't wait till I get her a silenced sniper rifle. And then she just takes out everybody, and I don't have to do a thing. I don't even play this game anymore. I just tell her to fire, and I just sit back and, I don't know, drink something.
Analysis complete.
That's not the mission. No one said like, hey, that's the person. Oh, no, it was. Okay.
Okay, subject is in.
Extraction arrived at Mother Base.
Okay, well, I think that's going to do for this outpost. That's going to do for this episode. Thanks for watching, everybody. It was a little long and there's a lot of driving, but there's a lot of talking in the cassettes. That's kind of the only times I really get to hear the cassettes. This is when I know we have a long way to travel, because otherwise my mind's going to be preoccupied with killing people. Or getting killed by people. One of the two. I'll see you next time.